Alrighty, boys and girls. You can see it's pretty dark outside. I even have this little fire going here, and you can barely see me. But isn't that the beauty of creation? Think about it, how God created the world, and how it started in the very, very beginning. In the very beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And it talks about how God did that. How did he do that? He did it with his voice, right? Have you ever played around with Play-Doh and you make your own creation? He just said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Even as this fire grows, you can see me more because there's more light produced. Think about that connection between light and darkness. And we saw that when God said, "Let there be light," what did he say afterwards? He saw that it was good. He saw that it was good, that light was a good thing. Are any of you all afraid of the dark? I know sometimes the darkness can be really scary, and you don't know what's out there, or you might hear some weird sounds. I know a lot of bugs that like the darkness, and so as soon as the darkness comes out, or as soon as the sun goes down, you start hearing a lot more bugs, and it's like, oh, that can be a little scary, right? Well, in the very beginning, there was nothing. It was just God. And he said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And that it was good. Think about that. I want to show you guys my flashlight here. Came with this comes with this can. Check this out. It's pretty cool. Watch this. When I turn it on, look how bright that is. Can you see? You can't see that? You can't see how bright that is? Man, look, let me take this can off and whoa, that's crazy bright, right? This flashlight, you turn it off, turn it on, and that's how I imagine when God said, "Let there be light," it was darkness, and then all of a sudden, this bright white light appeared. And then God continued. He didn't stop there. He continued creating. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. And darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening and there was morning the first day. And God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." And God made the expanse and separated the waters that were under the expanse from the waters that were above the expanse. And it was so. And God called the expanse heaven, and there was evening and there was morning the second day.
Welcome to Craft Time at our Backyard Vacation Bible School. Today we are going to make a sun catcher. We are talking this week about God's creation and the beauty of it, and our sun catcher will allow for us to bring God's beauty inside of our homes, especially if we're stuck inside. So you will need a picture that you print off to color. You can color your own picture, or you can use a page from a coloring book. You need baby oil, or vegetable oil will work. You also need cotton balls or a paper towel. You will need something to put your baby oil or vegetable oil on, and something to lay your piece of paper on. And you'll also need a way to hang up your sun catcher. We're just going to use a piece of tape. So the first thing you'll need to do is color your picture. Your best way to color this is either with crayon or colored pencils. Let's get started finishing up our sun catcher. So after we've colored our picture, we're going to pour some oil into our plate. Then we're going to dip our cotton ball or paper towel into the oil. And we're going to turn our picture over. Now, as we rub our cotton ball over top of our paper, we can start to see the colors show through. And if you're not seeing the colors show through anymore, you'll need to dip some more oil until you have your paper completely covered. Okay, once it is completely covered, you'll want to let it dry. You can wipe off some of the extra oil if you feel that you need to. But you'll want to let it sit maybe for about a day. After it's dry, you can then hang it up in the window. And as you can see, our light now shines through our picture to make our sun catcher. We hope that you enjoyed our craft today. I have a challenge for next week's craft. I challenge you to go outside with your parents and collect leaves. It could be leaves off trees, bushes, plants, any kind of leaf. Gather a bunch of leaves because we will be using them for next week's Vacation Bible School craft.
All right, boys and girls, we're here to bring you a song all about creation. So for our backyard vacation Bible school, we're going to be walking through all of creation. That happens in Genesis 1, and how God created everything that we see and know. God's created that. And so we're going to sing you a song called the Hippo Song, and it talks all about the fun that God had creating all of the things around us. Now you might be wondering why we're not outside when we're calling this backyard vacation Bible school. Well, we're standing in the sanctuary of St. John's Lutheran Church, and another name for church is God's house. Have you ever heard your grandparents say we're going to God's house, or hey, don't do that in God's house? Like maybe you're wearing a hat or you're talking really loud. Well, we call this God's house because this is where God dwells. This is where we come to worship Him. Now, you might be stuck at home and maybe haven't left home in a long time. And that's okay, because through Jesus, we can worship God anywhere we want. We can worship Him from the couch. We can worship Him in the car. We can worship Him outside on the swing while we're stomping in the mud. You can worship God anywhere, anytime. So, we're here in God's house, going to sing a song about creation, and you can sing it today with us in your house. So, with me today is Rachel, and she's going to be demonstrating the hand motions and gestures for this song, in case you forgot, or you don't know this song. So, I'm going to sing, Rachel's going to do hand motions, and if you get lost or something, we're going to speed up, and if you mess up, it is okay. So, to get us started, our first line is, in the beginning, God made the seas. So you can make a C with your hand or wiggly hand. And the forest filled with trees. So you stick your arms and legs up like you're a tree out in the forest or a wild bush. He made the mountains up so high, and at the top, He placed the sky. God's fingerprints are everywhere. You ever touched a glass or a window that mom just cleaned and leave fingerprints everywhere? Just like that. God's fingerprints are everywhere just to show how much He cared. And in the beginning, He had loads of fun. He made a hippo that weighed a ton. And then you stay bent over like that hippo, and you go, hip, hip, hippopotamus. And then you pop back up, because you're going to pretend to be like the little birdies up on top of its back. And you go, hip, hippopotamus. And you go back to the hippo, hip, hip, hippopotamus. Hip, hippopotamus. And that's it. It's so simple and fun. So I hope that you're joining us. Grab your mom, grab your dad, tell them to come and join you, and your brother or sister, and say, hey, come sing this hippo song with us. So we're going to sing it, and we're going to get a little faster, and our final time to be super speed. All right, here we go. In the beginning, God made the seas, and the forest filled with trees. He made the mountains up so high, and at the top He placed the sky. God's fingerprints are everywhere, just to show how much He cares. In the beginning, had loads of fun. He made a hippo that weighed a ton. We're going to get a little faster. In the beginning, God made the seas, and the forest filled with trees. He made the mountains up so high, and at the top He placed the sky. God's fingerprints are everywhere, just to show how much He cares. In the beginning, had lots of fun, and made a hippo that weighed a ton. Able to keep up? In the beginning, God made the sea, and the forest filled with trees. He made the mountains up so high, at the top He placed the sky. God's fingerprints are everywhere, just to show how much He cares. In the beginning, had lots of fun, made a hippo that weighed a ton. Whoa. Alright, so we're going to need you to take a breath, because we're going super speed. Now, you might mess up. It's okay. It's okay. Here we go. You ready? In the beginning, God made the forest filled with trees. He made the mountains so high, and at the top He placed the sky. God's fingerprints are everywhere, just to show how much He cares. In the beginning, lots of fun. He made a hippo that weighed a ton. Whew! Man, that was fun. I hope you all enjoyed singing the hippo song with us and learning all about creation this week. When we think about God making the sky, and we think about the connection that, what color is the sky? Even if it's cloudy, we know that the sky is what color? That's right, it's blue. It's blue. You know what else looks really blue? The oceans. Water. You know, when we look at a planet, like a picture of the Earth, and we see all of the oceans, they're blue. And then when we look up, when we go outside and we look up, the sky is blue. And we see that connection that here, when we read that God separates the waters from the waters, that He's making the sky, and that there's water up in the sky, and that will fall down in raindrops, and then that there's water here on the earth, and that's what we see in our creeks and puddles we like to jump in, and that's what we use to water our gardens and our flowers and all those kinds of things. And God separated these two things. One's up and one's down. And then God called the expanse heaven. And this isn't the heaven that we think of. When we think of heaven, we think of where Jesus lives, right? We think of heaven is where we go after we die. But this term of heaven is skies. And so when we read that God called the expanse heaven, that's what we know as the skies. And there was evening and there was morning the second day. How cool is that? We get to read about the first day and the second day of creation. The very first morning and evening, and the very second morning and evening. the same kind of mornings and evenings we have. How cool is that? That when we go to sleep, the nighttime goes and it passes, and what happens in the morning? We see beautiful sunrise. Now, sometimes we sleep in and we miss the sunrise, but it's still there. Every day the sun rises, and every evening the sun sets and goes away. Now, when we think about the beauty of creation, we think about all these different things. I'm going to turn this light off and you can really see how dark it gets. Even with this little fire I have here, it gets pretty dark. As we think about creation, we like to look at all the different kinds of plants and trees and bushes. And then we think about all of the different kinds of birds and animals and bugs and all kinds of things that are in this world. Maybe you watch some of them on TV and you watch a movie or a documentary about some kinds of animals. Well, those animals and birds and bugs and all those creatures on the earth were made and designed by God. And then we look at all the different kinds of trees. How many trees do you have in your yard? Me, I really have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see some behind me, but I have like 4 trees in my yard. That's a lot for one yard, but we think about all over the world, there's a ton of trees, and a lot of them, many of them are different. Different kinds of leaves. Some of them produce fruit. Do you have a fruit tree in your yard? Maybe an apple tree or a cherry tree? A walnut tree? You never know. You can go outside and find out. Does your tree drop big seeds or maybe little helicopter seeds? This big tree that I'm sitting underneath tonight, I don't know if you can see the branches of it or not. But this big tree that I'm sitting underneath, it drops little helicopter seeds. And that's what my brother and sister and we used to play with as a kid. And you find that little helicopter seed and you throw it up in the air and it twirls all the way down. Spent lots of time playing with those, but that's the seeds of those trees. And then we think about all the different kinds of things that we have. What about you? What do you have? We have eyes and a nose, and with our eyes we can see, with our nose we can smell. What about your tongue? Stick out your tongue. Let me see your tongue. With our tongue, what do we do with our tongue? That's right, we taste things. We can not only tell flavors, but we can tell temperatures, right? You ever taken a nice cold glass of ice water in the summer and you take a drink of it? That feels really good. What about if mom or dad makes some soup and it's hot? We can tell right away that it's really hot. And then we with our tongue, whoo, and you blow on it, try and cool it down. What about these? Yeah, we have ears. What do ears help us do? Ears help us to hear things. Sometimes we like to listen to music. It lets us communicate with each other. Same thing as our tongue. Our tongue and our ears work in combination to help us communicate to each other. That's how you're listening to me now, and I'm communicating to you. Isn't that neat? What about how I'm holding this flashlight? With my hands. Yeah, you have hands and fingers, and we have feet. All kinds of unique things about our bodies that God created and God gave us. He thought about all of these things and put them all together for you and me. So this week, as we celebrate God's creation, let us enjoy all the different things that we have around us. Let us enjoy our families, be thankful for mom and dad, for any brothers or sisters, for grandma and papa, for aunts and uncles, and for our cousins, for friends, for teachers, for pastors, for firefighters, for policemen. We can be thankful for a lot of people and a lot of things. You know what I'm always thankful for is food. I love to eat, and every time I eat something good, I say to myself in my head, I pray and I say, God, thank you for such good food. Thank you for rice. Thank you for chicken. Thank you for mac and cheese. All these different kinds of good foods. I love good food, and I am so amazed that God came up with such great flavors. This week and the following weeks, I have a challenge for you. So many of us have toilet paper. Well, I want you to save those toilet paper rolls. I'm going to turn on my flashlight here so you can see this. I want you to save those toilet paper rolls, and I want you to make a second craft that we're going to use all VBS. Okay? Now, mine's not very pretty, but I cut up a paper towel roll, and I made some binoculars out of it. Look how cool those look. Look at this. Oh yeah, you guys are looking good. But I put a piece of paper in the middle, and I wrapped it in some tape, and that's all I did to decorate mine, and you can decorate yours however you want. But my challenge for you is to make some binoculars out of toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls with Mom and Dad's help, and I want you to use those to see God's creation all throughout this week's VBS and the following weeks. I want you to see and look for the beauty of God's creation and where Jesus is in that creation. It's so cool to see the things around us, and these can help us. Now, we can't see in the dark very well. You can't see me, but thank God that we have light, that we have light to light up our rooms, that we have light to light up ourselves and the outside, and it's so cool that God gave us those things to use. So will you pray with me? Dear Jesus, thank you for everything that I have. Thank you for all the good things, and thank you for loving me no matter what. Thank you for creating this world with me in mind. Father, I give thanks to you for all kinds of plants and animals and everything else that you've created that we can look at and enjoy. Help us to see you in your creation around us. We love you, Jesus. Amen. You know, boys and girls, this is one of those things that it's a tough time being stuck at home all day long, and then you wake up and you're still stuck at home and we can't leave and you can't see your friends, and that's okay. It's tough for everyone. But you know, Jesus is always with you, and Jesus is there whether you're at church or at school. He's there. He's right there next to you right now. We just prayed to him, and we're not in church. I'm outside and you're at home. We can pray to Jesus no matter what, no matter where we are, whether we're really happy or really sad or scared. We can pray to Jesus because he's our friend and he's always with us. So I want you guys to pray to him as often as you can. I got smoke coming in my eyes. Man, oh life. Whew. But I am thankful for smoke. I'm thankful for campfires. How silly is that? You ever sit around a campfire and get smoke in your eyes? Whoo-wee, makes my eyes water. But I'm thankful for campfires. I love the smell of campfires. Love roasting s'mores over campfires. And spending time with family. Here it comes again. Woo-wee. So, get outside, spend some time in God's creation, and spend some time with your family. Maybe ask Mom or Dad if you can have a campfire and roast some s'mores. That'd be fun. And maybe you should save that activity for a little later, because guess what? We're not done with creation. We have 2 more days coming next week. And guess what? We're still not done with creation. And one of these days, I'm going to challenge you to go up and look at the stars. So maybe get some practice that even though it's nighttime, you still can go out and look at God's creation. What comes out at night that isn't there that you can't see during the daytime? The stars, the moon, all kinds of things come out at night, and we can go out and look and enjoy God's creation, because God's creation isn't alive just in the daytime, it's alive at night. So, have a great day.